He said engage. Oh my god, we got it. We got it. He said the thing. He said the fucking thing. He said the thing!
He said engage. Are you all happy now? Are you? I hope you're all pleased with yourself. Episode 3 of Star Trek Picard was actually super enjoyable, which is surprising because it had everything in it that I hate post The Next Generation and Voyager Star Trek shows. I'm actually loving seeing more of the Mars fiasco, and I like seeing the direct aftermath with Picard trying to convince Starfleet, hey, we still need to help the Romulans, meeting Raffi back then 14 years earlier and seeing how she relates to Picard, which you would know if you consumed other canon, but we're not talking about that in this video. We are just talking about this episode. So it's nice to learn through this show that Raffi was his first officer. And dang, I know we have gone pretty far with de-aging, but how they made Patrick Stewart look 14 years younger in that flashback, it was good. There was no uncanny valley. Also, those uniforms, straight fucking fire. So Raffi, who was his first officer, thought that somebody was responsible, cough, Commodore, oh, of course she's the one probably responsible, with putting fatal coding into the synths that made them go all crazy and created the whole Mars issue and the destruction of the armada that was going to go and rescue the Romulans. Picard obviously wasn't on board with it 14 years ago, but we know based on what we're seeing now, druggy lady is probably right. By the way, her hair is amazing. Every hairstyle. You know how some people usually have 1 or 2 hairstyles they can pull off and they look super cute? Her hair is just amazing. And she looks good no matter how she wears it. Teach me your magic. The actress's acting for Raffi, though, is not that great. There just seems to be something off about her acting. The flashback acting was okay, but the present acting, the present Raffi, there's something that doesn't either resonate with her character or just seems really off. Maybe it is because she's constantly on mind-altering substances, so she's kind of not really all there. I don't know. There's something about her acting I don't quite like. I feel like I need to check out this lady's other acting and see if that's just her thing, or if maybe it's just, I don't like that character. I don't know. Although her story is pretty interesting with how she has a grudge against Picard because Picard tried to use the card of I'll resign unless you help the Romulans, and Starfleet was like, okay, you're resigning, and oh, by the way, your first officer, she's also fired. Although I was actually legitimately pissed off with how Starfleet and everyone is treating Picard this episode. Like the emergency hologram said, Picard is larger than life. He has done so many good things for the world. He has saved Earth. He has saved an entire fucking galaxy, and this is the way you're treating him? This series is legitimately making me feel angry for how people are treating Picard. But I kind of feel like that's the thing we're doing nowadays. We're taking people that used to be beacons of hope and inspiration, and we're now, decades later, just smearing their face in the dirt and showing, hey, look, all your heroes, everyone you looked up to, all that, they all fucking suck. And in the end, it doesn't matter. Because they're gonna let you down, and they're gonna let everyone around them down. Don't have heroes. Everything is about nihilism. Jesus Christ. I mean, it is really hard not to echo Picard's sentiment. I never thought that Starfleet would be prejudiced and this fucking petty that they're throwing hissy fits about helping the Romulans because they used to be their enemies. It's just, is this our future, that no matter how much we advance, we're just gonna be petty and awful? Because I kind of feel like that's what we're trying to be told. I kind of want to go back to the Star Trek world that was no poverty, no disease, no war, everyone just working and doing what they love. Give me that boring shit. I want that. I'm so sick of everything is awful. And does it not feel weird to everyone else that Picard, once he was basically forced to resign, said fuck you to the helping Romulans and his friends and everything and just went to his vineyard? That doesn't feel like the Picard I knew through watching The Next Generation and even through the movies, even though there's a big argument that Picard and show Picard are just so vastly different. We're not having that argument here. Have that argument in the comment section down below and just rip at each other's throats. Just scrape it. Fucking destroy each other. So yeah, this definitely doesn't feel like the Picard of the past 14 years that they're portraying in Showtime, of course, is the Picard we knew. And I know Patrick Stewart said he's very different than the Picard we left off with and whatnot, but it just feels so vastly different. But again, it's because nihilism is the in thing, and taking all our heroes and throwing them through the mud is you know, what's hot. It's just so hot. I am absolutely on board for Rios, and I love his emergency holograms and how they look like him. The one thing I will say was a bit overboard was when he was talking to the emergency hologram, and he was saying, oh, I don't want to follow another captain. My last one, I saw his brains and blood, whatever, all over the bulkhead. And you're like, okay, that was a little ham-fisted and kind of a quick way to show us you're hurting and that you're actually a good person. But then when he threw himself in the chair and we just kept focusing the camera on him and the non-stop sad music was playing, I started to giggle a little bit. It was a little bit overboard. You should have just did the speech, as ham-fisted as that was, had him throw himself in the chair, and then, you know, transition to a new scene. We didn't need to focus on him with the super sad music. We already got we were supposed to feel sad for him. You don't need to force our emotions. We know how to feel. Ooh, and I love that Raffi warned Rios about Picard and his speech-making, because that has been pointed out plenty of times. And if you want to have a good time, YouTube search Picard best speeches, because he makes a lot of good ones in The Next Generation. Oh hey, was anyone genuinely afraid for Picard when he was being thrown around by the assassins in his home? That's a 94-year-old dude. I was like, he's gonna break a bone, and he is just gonna die right then and there. I was very terrified for him. The fight scene, though, pretty fucking awesome. I liked all the hidden guns, too. I like that he wants to live this peaceful life, but he's prepared regardless. Oh, also to backtrack just a little bit, Picard saying that he tried really hard to feel at home at the vineyard, and him looking up at the stars and saying that it was never home really tugged on my heart. The fact that he was just always meant to be an explorer and out in space and traveling, that got to me. I am interested what his 2 Romulan helpers are now doing, which, by the way, I absolutely love. So the Romulans attacked. They're going to come back. Picard ends up leaving, going on Rios' ship. They're going to do their whole adventure with finding Maddox. But the 2 Romulan helpers, they can't stay there. Because Morgan, or do they know, oh, okay, Picard's off planet, so we don't need to go back to the vineyard anymore? I have a feeling they would still be after the 2 Romulan helpers to interrogate them or something and try to figure out more of what Picard's doing. So what are they doing? Did Picard just leave them like he's left everyone else? Like, alright, fuck you, I'm busy. Can I jump really quick to Commodore O when she goes to talk to Agnes? I usually don't talk shit about people's clothing and sunglasses just because that's not my thing, but her sunglasses looked like shit. If that's what future sunglasses look like, well, I don't know. I won't ever be around that long to know that it is, but it sucked. I didn't like it. I thought they looked really stupid on her. That's all I wanted to say about Commodore O. So ending talking about Picard for this episode, he gets on Rios' ship. Raffi is going as well because she wants to go to the Free Cloud, which is where they're heading because that's where Maddox should be. And of course, there's going to be lots of crazy hijinks along the way. Now let's transition to the Borg Cube and the Soji storyline. It was so good to see Hugh again. So Hugh was always charming in The Next Generation, and I didn't know if I was going to like seeing him again or if it was just going to ruin my memories of him, but the actor for Hugh is so charming. You know how you see someone and right off the bat you just like them? And they don't even have to talk. You can just see their mannerisms on screen and you're like, there's something about you. I like the cut of your jib. And I adored him this entire episode. And I'm happy that he's the executive director on this board cube, and he's doing things to free other people that were assimilated like he was. Kind of sad that he knows the Romulans are just using him, but on the other hand, I kind of feel like he thinks the deal's worth it because they're helping him and giving him the funding to free people that were assimilated just like him. So it's kind of like, yeah, maybe they're not doing this for the best reasons, but they're allowing me to do this for the best reasons. Soji and Hugh interacting, I really liked, and of course he finds someone that is talking to the assimilated like they're actual people, because they are. That's something that would be dear to him. It's nice to see her having more relationships with other people because we're learning more about her as a person. And then she gets an interview with the mythology Romulan, and that's where things got a little stupid. She's the destroyer. Of course she is. She has no idea what she is. Is anyone else tired of hearing that phrase? Or, you have no idea who she is. Okay. It's kind of like the phrase, the world is changing. We need to pick new shit to say. No more of this. Stop. Get help. Why can't we have fun, just space adventures anymore? Why does everything have to be world-ending? You want to know why? Our attention spans. If everything isn't out of control and huge and just, oh my god, the galaxy could be ending, people just don't care. They just don't care. Am I the only one that thinks the two Romulan siblings have crazy sexual chemistry? Like, again, they've definitely had sex with each other. It's oozing off of them. And the sister, if she hasn't slept with her brother, really wants to fuck him. Like, hardcore. It is so obvious. I would not be surprised if the two actors for the Romulan siblings haven't been fucking in real life. Because, wow. My skin did crawl a little bit when Narx was like, I think I'm falling in love with you. It's so cliche to have the dude trying to get information from a girl being like, oh, I'm in love with you. And then when he was talking to his sister and she was like, oh, you're not falling in love with you are. Because here's how this is gonna go. Because we're being cliches here. So, he was meant to get close to Soji to figure out what she knew and to find the other androids. But in doing so, he started to fall in love with her. But then she discovers he was getting close to her because he's a bad guy and wanted information. But Nerix, he truly loved her. But now it's too late because she doesn't trust him anymore. But eventually, because he loves her and he works hard to keep her safe, they realize they both do truly love each other and they end up together. Is that about right? Star Trek Picard, is that where we're going with this storyline? Probably. So yeah, at some point Soji's gonna figure out that he was working for a secret society trying to get information from her. She's gonna be like, I don't trust you! And he's gonna be like, but I truly love you! And there's gonna be tension with that, and then he's gonna prove his love, and they're gonna end up together. So, you know. Alright. Also, I'm getting the sense, and I could be completely wrong here, since Soji called her mom after that and said, hey, is Dej okay? Is she alive? And the mom's like, yeah, she's talking about getting a puppy. So, obviously, the mom isn't truly their mom. We already know that. They were created 3 years ago. What I'm thinking is they were created 3 years ago and they never had a family life. Everything was just implanted in their brain and they were dropped into their current situations, into their current life. And every time they call home to talk to their mom or dad, it's someone pretending to be that person. So they didn't even get to be with that plant family at all. They just have the memories of being with that plant family and they were put into everyday life far away from home. I would actually bet those two androids have never stepped foot in their home, physically. So that's super depressing. Kind of takes away from my thing of, I think it was in episode 1 where I said, you know, there's still their memories even if they're implanted, but if the person pretending to be her mom never even really cared about her and it was just a job, ew, that's fucked. So it may sound like I didn't like this episode, but I really did. I enjoyed seeing the Mars thing. I enjoyed seeing Picard and exactly how he resigned. I liked seeing a little bit more of Raffi. I enjoyed Rios quite a bit and his emergency holograms as well. I think I'm going to absolutely love them. Hugh was absolutely charming. I'm enjoying seeing more of Soji and her having an actual personality. Nerix, I want to knock his teeth out. And I'm definitely, positively, 100% sure those Romulan siblings have just... Oh, and Commodore O's sunglasses suck. So those are my thoughts on episode 3 of Star Trek Picard. Like, subscribe, and let me know what you think. In the comment section down below.
Instead of belaboring those problems which divide us, let both sides, for the first time, formulate serious and precise proposals for the inspection and control of arms, and bring the absolute power to destroy other nations